Okay, I'm gonna do this real quick. If I suddenly have to turn this filming off, it's because I no longer have the privacy to film, okay? So I apologize in advance. So this is how I put them together for now. I only have one bracelet from Trollbeads, so I don't really have a choice in terms of styling. I simply put everything here except for the pearl. So the pearl, this and this, I receive as a free gift. Gifts for the amount spent. Everything else I purchased at a discount. I can't remember how much it was. It was various sales, I think between 25 or 30% to 50%, except for this clasp. You have no choice but to buy the clasp and the bracelet, of course, once you buy the beads. So as I mentioned, the reason why I picked this is because you can't see the clasp other than the loop here and the loop there. And I also like the fact that there's flowers there and then leaves there, and it just feels so organic. What I dislike is this, what do you call this? Lobster claw clasp is one of the hardest thing to operate, especially if you only have one hand. And sorry, my cat is, I'm not quite sure what she wants. So this one here, that is pictured as green. I understand that these are gemstones, so that you don't really know which part of the gemstone. I used to collect gemstones until I realized how unethical a lot of them have been mined. It's just horrendous what they've done to mine these gemstones. So this is green and purple was what I had in mind, but that's kind of more of a grayish green, a bit more like this one here. This is the apple blossom, I believe. And this one here, actually when I saw this, I had to remind myself what bead I purchased, because I thought this was a round bead or like a barrel armadillo shaped bead instead of this triangular one. So this actually looks a lot more rounded than the picture for some reason, or than the picture gave me the impression of. And the color, I must say, is not typically my type of color, but I was intrigued by the shape. And so I probably won't go to this color again. This is more me. This is more impactful than I had anticipated. The protrusion here really, and combined with the color, really popped, and that's really more my style, and it really breaks all the sort of natural looking design and the material, silver, vegetation, animal, all that's very natural, very organic, and this gives it a really good pop. I love how this clasp, the bead next to it, this isn't ideal, because if you see the triangular here, I really wanted to shine in terms of its shape, and sitting next to this apple blossom, it kind of buries it a little bit. So I'm going to move this and probably put a more rounded bead here, which I don't have at the moment. Maybe one day, if there's another sale, I might try to find one. This was not discounted, and I did not know that until I checked out, because I think this is quite new, so I really love this. But this has got to be the star, literally, in terms of, and I don't really like this type of bead usually, so I really like this. I really like that. I am very happy with this as well. I believe that's lapis lazuli, and it's encased in very playful silver here. So I like the way it looks like that. It reminds me of a lotus roots, or lotus. You know what I'm talking about, right? And that blue is a very strong color as well. So it's this type of really strong color is more me really than that. But that picked up this this color really well. Again, this is supposed to be a lot brighter green, but it's not. But they've put this, if you see my unboxing, they've put this next to that, and it really plays really well, because that picked that up and that blue picked this up. And so these were put together by Trollbeads Australia as well, and I can see what they're trying to do. I can appreciate what they're trying to do. They put silver, glass, silver, glass, silver. So I think that's a really good that's a really good guide, I suppose. And so I put all this silver together. There's a lot of silver in one row, perhaps not ideal, but at the moment I'm still waiting for more beads to come, and so I will have to change this around, and I may have to buy another bracelet or another bangle. I suspect I'm more of a bangle person, but I am in love with Trollbeads' way of decorating their clasp, even though I hate this type of lobster, what do you call this? Lobster closure here with a passion. It's really painful to keep this thing open, you know, when you're trying to aim for the loop. And this is even harder to operate here at this end here. I think you have to push it like this, right? And then you try to get this thing out. And that's really hard to operate, especially with all the stuff going around here, which I will have to have because I don't like seeing the exposed clasp, not the way they have the clasp, Trollbeads. And I'm also really anxious about this tiny, delicate looking loop over here carrying so much of the weight of the bracelet. But upon closer inspection, you can see there's no gap, which is important because if there's a gap there, you really will lose this bracelet. And so it all hinges on this gap here, not letting the loop escape. Look, there's that little gap there, and that really makes me nervous there. And you really rely on this not slipping out. And I think I've heard stories of people's bracelets slipping. And with this kind of design, I just don't think you want a safety chain. It's just going to look so bad with a safety chain. So I don't know what I'm going to do in terms of securing this. I'll think about that. Where was I? Okay, we're here, right? Yeah, so ladybird, ladybug here, the cat and the ladybugs. It's this is my cat, so I decided not to put any personal, I don't know, with Pandora, I was aiming more for BTS. And there's some personal stuff like the heart and my various dates and all the rest of it, but I haven't been able to find a proper ladybug that I'm happy with. So I thought I'd give it a go here. So that's, I'm very happy with these two. So that's to represent my cat. This is a really fun bead. It's big, it's faceted, it's really brightly colored, but I think it's a little bit out of place in this particular arrangement. So I'm going to have to remove this. Sadly, this does not fit Pandora bracelets or bangles because those Pandoras have threaded tip, and that thread around the chain really add to the diameter. So, and I quite like the date here. I told you I'm a sucker for dated things. So this was People's Bead from 2016. I have all that information in my unboxing video. I'll link that video up here. And I'll try to repeat the information down below. So I'm going to move this to, I don't know, I'm going to have to buy more bracelets, bangle from Trollbeads, but I'm trying to not to buy them on retail because they're getting really expensive. I have to buy them from Australia, and Australian dollars are higher than New Zealand dollars. And so the clasp alone is 100, I think, Australian. So that's more than 100 New Zealand. So that's on sale. All these beads are about 50, I think. They're all under 100 anyway. New Zealand, Australia, New Zealand. So this is a kiwi that I've always wanted a kiwi. I haven't really been able to find one that I like. This is a little confusing, this design. Apparently, it's a kiwi with a smaller kiwi on its back. So if you look at that, the kiwi is twisting itself or putting its head between its leg. You see there? That's the beak between its legs. So that creates a loop, which is, I love that, how the design revolves around looping in the chain. And there's a smaller kiwi sitting on its on their back there. I don't want to, I haven't been able to call animals it anymore these days. This is the power dragon or dragon power, whatever. This is also a gift. This is kind of okay fitting here, but I think I'm not too sure at the moment. A lot of the beads that are free, for obvious reasons, aren't my choice. But so, you know how sometimes your eyes just move in the same direction, creating the same pattern because your brain is going that way. So you can tell that these two aren't where my brain was at when I hunted for all these ones that you see here, including the big butterfly here. You know, you could see that feels really okay somehow, and this kind of feel. The black and white doesn't feel too bad because it's quite neutral, so I may leave it there. But this definitely stand out too much, even though that orange echo this one here. So, and last but not least, yeah, the dragon power here, this is definitely Asian dragon if you look at the slender body. And so when you talk about under its protective wings, it doesn't really make sense because the wings aren't very big with these dragons. The dragons in the East are always protective. They're symbols of the emperors, etc. In the West, the dragons are always the evil one that the knight in shining armor fought against in order to save the princess, right? Until recently, I think Game of Thrones and all this modern modern mythology or modern epoch started changing the view. I don't know. So this is pretty big and dramatic. I really like that. And last but not least is this. I'm thinking of putting the pearl here, but pearls are very delicate, and I am not a big fan of pearls mixed with metal, as well as pearls. The value of pearls, as far as I'm concerned, is in its luster, and to get that luster, you have to pay a lot of money. So for these beads to remain economical and cost effective, it can't be high quality, especially when you have to drill a big hole next to it in a way that these beads are designed, this format here. To me, all in all, it just doesn't, it's not the most attractive feature of charm bracelets like these. So, but I'm going to try and see how that works. Put it here maybe, and maybe remove this. And I am waiting for at least 2 more parcels from Europe, from a collector that I bought from. And I think I may buy more from Trollbeads Australia. I'm not sure, depending if there's more sales coming. At the moment, I'm not willing to pay retail, not just yet, because they are so expensive. And because I have to buy them from Australia, I am hit with currency conversion fluctuations. Luckily, shipping is pretty good. Yeah. So I'll see you when the other ones arrived, and when I have more bracelet, I have to at least buy 1 more. I can then start separating this and create 2 bracelets rather than dumping everything. You see what I mean? This just stood out. This kind of stood out like a sore thumb. It just doesn't fit here. It's too bright. I can't tell you. I mean, this is fine here. The orange, no, not even the orange. It's just, this just feels like it belongs in a different bracelet. Put it that way. How's that? So that is okay like that. So anyway, yeah, I'll see you next time when there are more deliveries from Trollbeads and the one from Europe. Bye.